1 month after her discovery, Jisoo stood in a large room filled with aliens. This was the Galactic Council meeting hall on Space Station Unity. Tall windows showed the stars outside. Representatives from 20 different species talked in small groups. Jisoo felt out of place. She was a scientist, not a diplomat. But Director Han had ordered her to come. "You'll help our science team answer questions," he had said. Jisoo knew the real reason. He wanted to keep an eye on her. "First time at a council meeting?" asked a voice beside her. Jisoo turned to see a young Korean man in a formal Earth uniform. He had a friendly smile. "Yes," she said. "I'm Jisoo Kim, Xenobiology Department." "Do-hyun Park, Earth Diplomatic Court," he replied. "Don't worry, these meetings are mostly talk. Nothing exciting happens." Jisoo noticed his security badge had a gold stripe. That meant high clearance. Strange for someone who looked so young. "You have gold clearance," she said. "That's unusual." Do-hyun's smile faded a little. "I have special duties, but today I'm just a regular diplomat." Before Jisoo could ask more questions, the room lights dimmed. The meeting was starting. Everyone took their seats at the large circular table. The council leader, a tall blue alien named Telk, stood up. "We gather today to discuss trade routes and the growing Tarak problem," he said. Jisoo sat quietly as the aliens talked about boring trade issues. Her mind wandered back to her secret research. She had found the strange DNA marker in 8 species now. What did it mean? Suddenly, a loud alarm rang through the station. Red lights flashed. "We are under attack," shouted a voice over the speakers. "Tarak ships approaching. All personnel to emergency stations." The room erupted in chaos. Aliens ran in different directions. Security guards appeared at the doors. "Come with me." Do-hyun grabbed Jisoo's arm. "We need to get to the escape pods." They ran down a long hallway. Explosions shook the station. Other people ran past them, panicking. "What do the Tarak want?" Jisoo asked as they ran. "They hate the council. They think they should rule the galaxy," Do-hyun said. "They've never attacked a station before. This is new." They turned a corner and found their path blocked by fallen debris. Smoke filled the hallway. "We need another way," Do-hyun said, looking at his tablet map. More explosions rocked the station. The lights went out, then emergency lights came on, casting everything in red. "This way," Do-hyun pointed to a small door. "This leads to the docking bay." The door opened to a room full of small ships. Most were already gone. Only one remained, a strange, oval-shaped craft. It didn't look human or like any alien ship Jisoo knew. "What is that?" she asked. "I don't know, but it's our only option," Do-hyun said as another explosion shook the station. "Get in." They climbed inside. The ship was dark and smelled strange, like something alive. As soon as they entered, lights came on. The walls looked like they were made of something between metal and flesh. "This is a bioship," Jisoo whispered. "Some species grow their ships instead of building them." Do-hyun touched what looked like a control panel. Nothing happened. "I can't make it work," he said with frustration. Jisoo moved closer to look. As her hand passed near the panel, it lit up with a soft blue glow. The ship hummed to life. "How did you do that?" Do-hyun asked, surprised. "I didn't do anything," Jisoo said. But when she moved her hand again, the ship responded, as if it recognized her somehow. Through the viewport, they saw a Tarak ship approaching the docking bay. "We need to leave now," Do-hyun shouted. Jisoo placed her hands on the glowing panel. Somehow, she knew what to do. The ship moved, breaking free from the docking clamps. "It's responding to you," Do-hyun said, watching in amazement. As they flew away from the station, Jisoo felt a strange connection to the ship, as if it was partly alive, and somehow knew her. "This doesn't make sense," she said quietly. "Why would an alien ship respond to a human?" Do-hyun looked at her with new interest. I think there's more to you than being just a scientist. Ji-Soo Kim. As stars streaked past the viewport, Ji-Soo wondered if this strange ship might somehow be connected to the mystery in her research. The bioship flew through space for 3 days. Ji-Soo learned it could make its own food and air. The ship seemed to know where to go without being told. It's like it has a mind of its own, Do-hyun said, as they watched stars pass by. Ji-Soo nodded. And for some reason, it listens to me. On the 3rd day, the ship slowed down near a small moon. It was gray and looked empty, with no cities or lights. Why are we stopping here? Do-hyun asked. There's nothing on this moon. The ship landed itself on the gray surface. A door opened in the side of the ship. I think it wants us to go outside, Ji-Soo said. They put on spacesuits from the ship's storage area and stepped onto the moon's surface. The gravity was light, making them feel like they could jump very high. Look, Do-hyun pointed to a small hill about half a mile away. There's something there that doesn't look natural. They walked to the hill and found a door built into the rock. It was old and covered in dust, but clearly made by intelligent beings. This door must be ancient, Ji-Soo said, touching the strange symbols carved into it. As soon as her fingers touched the door, the symbols lit up with a blue glow, just like the ship's controls had done. With a grinding sound, the heavy door slowly opened. It responded to you again, Do-hyun said with surprise in his voice. They entered a dark tunnel that led deep into the moon. Lights came on automatically as they walked, revealing walls covered in more strange symbols. This place is old, Do-hyun said. Maybe thousands of years old. The tunnel opened into a large room filled with strange machines and screens. Everything was covered in dust, but when Ji-Soo entered, the room came to life. Screens lit up and machines hummed. What is this place? Do-hyun asked, looking around with wide eyes. Ji-Soo walked to the largest screen. Images appeared showing different alien species, including some Ji-Soo had never seen before. Then the images changed to show DNA patterns, the same patterns Ji-Soo had found in her research. This is incredible, she whispered. This is about the genetic marker I found. A new image appeared on the screen. A map of the galaxy with certain stars marked in blue. I think these are the worlds where species were created, Ji-Soo said slowly as understanding dawned on her. Created? What do you mean? Do-hyun asked. These machines are showing records from a species called. Ji-Soo studied the symbols, somehow understanding them. The progenitors. They seeded the galaxy with life forms they designed. Do-hyun looked shocked. Are you saying all the alien species were made by these progenitors? Not just made, Ji-Soo said, reading more from the screens. Engineered for specific purposes as part of some grand experiment. She touched another screen, and a new image appeared of humans. Humans are part of it too, she said. But we're different somehow. We have something special in our DNA that lets us activate things the progenitors built. That's why the ship and this place respond to you, Do-hyun said. Ji-Soo nodded. And there's more. It says humans can somehow activate dormant genes in other species too. We're like a key that can unlock the full potential in all the other created species. Suddenly, a loud alarm sounded. One of the screens showed a Terek ship landing on the moon's surface. They followed us, Do-hyun said. But how did they know about this place? The Terek know about the progenitors, Ji-Soo said, reading quickly from the screens. They've been destroying evidence of them across the galaxy. They don't want anyone to know about this. We need to take this information with us, Do-hyun said. It's too important to lose. Ji-Soo found what looked like a data storage device and connected it to the main computer. The download began. Hurry, Do-hyun said, watching another screen that showed Terek soldiers approaching the entrance. We don't have much time. When the download finished, Ji-Soo grabbed the device. Let's go. There must be another way out. They found a back tunnel just as they heard the Terek breaking into the main room. The tunnel led them to the surface on the other side of the hill, where their ship waited. As they ran toward the ship, Jisoo knew their discovery would change everything. The galaxy's past, and its future, was not what anyone had thought. The bioship took Jisoo and Do-hyun back to Earth in just 2 days. When they landed, they were met by security forces. "Dr. Kim, Mr. Park, you need to come with us," a stern officer said. They were taken to a small room where Director Han waited. "You disappeared during a Terek attack," he said angrily. "You took an unknown alien ship. Explain yourselves." Jisoo showed him the data device. "We found something important. Evidence that all intelligent species were created by ancient beings called the progenitors." Director Han's face changed. He looked worried now, not angry. "Give me that device." "Sir, this information belongs to everyone," Jisoo said. "It changes everything we know about life in the galaxy. That's exactly why it's now classified," Director Han said, taking the device. "This is a matter of Earth security. You will tell no one about this. That's an order." After they left Director Han's office, Do-hyun pulled Jisoo into an empty hallway. "He's going to bury this information," Do-hyun whispered. "But I made a copy of the data." He showed her a small chip. Jisoo smiled with relief. "What do we do now?" "We need help from people we can trust," Do-hyun said. "I know some who might believe us." The next day, they met in an old warehouse outside the city. 3 people waited for them. "This is Sunho." Do-hyun introduced a thin man with glasses who was taking apart some alien device. "He's the best engineer I know. He can understand any technology." Sunho nodded. "Do-hyun says you found progenitor tech. I've dreamed of studying that." "This is Yuna." Do-hyun pointed to a woman with short hair and a serious face, former military strategist. She was the first to warn about the Terek threat. "The military didn't listen to me," Yuna said, "just like they're not listening to you." "And this is Towu." Do-hyun indicated a quiet man in the corner with a computer. AI specialist. His research was banned for being too advanced. "The progenitors must have had amazing eye," Towu said. "I can help decode their data." Jisoo looked at them all. "Why are you willing to help us?" Yuna stepped forward. "Because the government is keeping secrets that could help protect Earth. The Terek are planning something big. And because this is the greatest scientific discovery ever," Sunho added. "It should be shared, not hidden." "So what's our plan?" Jisoo asked. Do-hyun spread out a map. "We need to find more progenitor sites. The data shows coordinates for other facilities. Each might have more information. The Terek are destroying these sites." Jisoo reminded them. "We need to move fast." Towu pointed to his computer. "I'm already decoding more of the data. There's something special about human DNA that the progenitors designed. It's like we're meant to be some kind of key." "A key to what?" Yuna asked. "I'm not sure yet," Towu said. "But whatever it is, the Terek don't want us to unlock it." Over the next week, their small group, which they called the Coalition, worked to understand the progenitor data. They used Sunho's apartment as their base, filling it with computers and equipment. One night, Jisoo was studying the human DNA patterns when she noticed something strange. "The special sequence in human DNA can be activated," she said, looking up at the others. "It's dormant now, but under the right conditions, it could wake up." "And do what?" Do-hyun asked. "Give humans abilities we don't currently have," Jisoo said, "including the power to wake up dormant DNA in other species." Yuna looked concerned. "No wonder the government classified this, and no wonder the Terek are trying to destroy all evidence. We need to figure out how to activate this DNA safely," Jisoo said. "And we need to do it before the Terek or Earth government stop us." Sunho held up a small device he had built. "I think I can modify this scanner to help. It can read the dormant sequences." As they all looked at the scanner, Jisoo felt both excited and afraid. What they were doing could change the future of not just humans, but all species in the galaxy. "We're going to need better protection," Yuna said, looking at her tablet. "I'm getting reports that Director Han has started a search for us. And the Terek have increased their attacks on human outposts," Tawu added. "It's like they know what we're doing." Jisoo took a deep breath. "Then we better work faster." 2 weeks passed. The coalition worked day and night in their hidden base. They moved from Sunho's apartment to an old science lab outside the city that Tawu knew about. No one used it anymore, so it was safe. Jisoo spent most of her time studying the progenitor data about human DNA. She learned that the special sequence could give humans new abilities if activated. "I think I understand how to wake up the dormant DNA," Jisoo told the others one morning. They gathered around a table covered with computers and lab equipment. "How?" Doohyun asked. Jisoo pointed to a complex machine Sunho had built based on progenitor designs. "This device can send the right signals to the DNA, telling it to activate." "Has it been tested?" Yuma asked, looking worried. "No," Jisoo admitted. "It's never been done before." "Then it's too dangerous," Doohyun said firmly. "We don't know what could happen." Jisoo looked at each of them. "Someone has to try it. The Terek are getting closer to finding us. We need to understand what the progenitors planned for humans." "You want to test it on yourself," Sunho said. It wasn't a question. Jisoo nodded. "Yes." "No way," Doohyun shook his head. "It's too risky. It could kill you. Or it could give us the answers we need," Jisoo said. "This is my research, my discovery. It should be my risk." The room was quiet for a long time. Finally, Tawu spoke. "She's right. We need to know." Later that day, Jisoo lay on a table connected to Sunho's machine. Wires ran from the device to patches on her head and arms. "The process will take about an hour," Sunho explained. "If anything feels wrong, we'll stop immediately." Jisoo tried to look calm, but her heart was racing. "I'm ready." Sunho turned on the machine. It hummed softly. Jisoo felt a warm sensation spread through her body. Then it became hot, almost painful. "Are you okay?" Doohyun asked, watching her face closely. "Yes," Jisoo said through gritted teeth. "Keep going." The next hour was the hardest of Jisoo's life. The pain grew worse, then suddenly stopped. Strange images filled her mind. Stars, planets, DNA spirals, and patterns she didn't understand. When the machine finally turned off, Jisoo sat up slowly. The room looked different. She could see tiny details she never noticed before. She could hear the others' heartbeats. "How do you feel?" Sunho asked. "Different," Jisoo said. Her voice sounded normal, but inside, everything had changed. Her mind worked faster. She understood things that confused her before. She looked at the progenitor data on a nearby screen. Before, some parts made no sense. Now, she could read it all. "It worked," she whispered. "I can understand the full progenitor language now." She walked to the bioship, which they had hidden in the lab. When she touched it, the ship didn't just respond. It seemed to communicate with her. Images and ideas flowed from the ship to her mind. "The ship is partly alive," Jisoo told the others. "It's trying to tell me things." Over the next few days, Jisoo's new abilities grew stronger. She could process information at amazing speeds. She could feel the dormant DNA in the others, almost like seeing a light inside them that wasn't turned on yet. "The progenitors designed humans to be connectors," Jisoo explained as they gathered around her. "We can bridge the gap between species. We can help activate the special traits that all species have hidden in their DNA." "Why would the progenitors want that?" Yuma asked. Jisoo's eyes seemed to look at something far away. They were preparing for something. A future where all species would need to work together. "Against what?" Doohyun asked. Before Jisoo could answer, alarms rang throughout the lab. Taewoo ran to a computer. "Someone's coming," he said. "Multiple vehicles." Yuma checked the security cameras. It's a government team. Director Han is with them. How did they find us? Sun Ho asked. It doesn't matter now, Du Hyun said. We need to leave. Jisoo looked at the data they had collected. We can't leave this behind. And I need to finish the enhancement process. I've only activated part of what the progenitors built into human DNA. There's no time, Yuna said, grabbing essential equipment. We'll continue somewhere else. As they rushed to pack their most important items, Jisoo knew they were running out of time. The Terrak were destroying progenitor sites across the galaxy. Earth's government was hunting them. And she still didn't fully understand what humans were meant to become. The coalition escaped just as Director Han's team entered the lab. They split into two groups to avoid being caught. Jisoo, Du Hyun, and Sun Ho took the bioship. Yuna and Taiwu left in a small ground vehicle with their most important equipment. Where do we go now? Sun Ho asked as the bioship rose into the night sky. Jisoo closed her eyes. With her enhanced mind, she could understand more of the progenitor data now. There's a place the Terrak haven't found yet. A special facility hidden inside an asteroid belt in the Cygnus system. That's 3 days away, even in this ship, Du Hyun said. It's our best hope, Jisoo replied. The data says it's a sanctuary, where the progenitors kept their most important secrets. The bioship raced through space. During the journey, Jisoo's abilities continued to grow. She could feel connections to the ship and to the progenitor technology that she couldn't explain. What's happening to you? Du Hyun asked on the third day, watching as Jisoo communicated with the ship without speaking. I'm becoming what the progenitors intended humans to be, she said quietly, but it's still not complete. They reached the Cygnus system and navigated through a dense asteroid belt. Hidden among the rocks was a large, smooth asteroid that didn't look natural. The bioship approached it, and a door opened on the surface. Inside was a vast chamber filled with strange machines and glowing columns. Everything lit up as Jisoo entered. This is amazing, Sun Ho whispered, looking around in awe. Jisoo walked to the center of the room where a large crystal floated in the air. When she touched it, the crystal glowed brightly. A hologram appeared, showing a tall, elegant being with 4 arms and silver skin. A progenitor, Jisoo said. The hologram spoke in a language none of them understood, except Jisoo. She listened carefully, her face showing surprise, then concern. What is it saying? Du Hyun asked. It's explaining why the progenitors created all the different species, Jisoo said. They discovered that the universe is dying faster than it should. Energy is being lost. Entropy is accelerating. I don't understand, Sun Ho said. Jisoo continued. The progenitors created different species to solve this problem together. Each species was designed with special traits and abilities. But alone, none of them could stop the decay. And humans? Du Hyun asked. We are the keystone, Jisoo said, her voice full of wonder. Humans were designed to connect all the other species together. Our DNA can activate the dormant abilities in other species and in ourselves. Together, all species working as one, we might be able to slow or stop the decay of the universe. That's why the Terrak are destroying the progenitor sites, Sun Ho realized. They don't want cooperation. Jisoo nodded. The hologram says the Terrak were designed to be adapters, able to survive in any environment. But some Terrak believe they should rule over other species, not work with them. They think they should have the human ability to activate DNA. The hologram changed to show a map of the galaxy. Red dots appeared throughout it. The red dots show signs of increasing entropy, Jisoo explained. Areas where stars are dying too fast, where energy is being lost at dangerous rates. Can we really stop this? Du Hyun asked. Not alone, Jisoo said. We need the other species. We need everyone. The hologram suddenly disappeared. Alarm sounds filled the sanctuary. Something's approaching, Sun Ho said. checking the screen on the wall. Multiple ships. Tarek, Du-hyun asked. Sun-ho shook his head. Worse, it's an Earth military fleet. They must have followed us. Jae-soo looked at the crystal again. There's more data here. Information about how to fully activate human DNA, how to use it to help other species. We don't have time to download it all, Sun-ho said. Jae-soo made a quick decision. She placed both hands on the crystal. Energy surged from it into her body. She gasped as knowledge flowed directly into her mind. Jae-soo, Du-hyun called out in alarm. What are you doing? Taking the information the only way I can, she said through gritted teeth. Her body glowed with blue light. When she finally let go of the crystal, her eyes had changed color from brown to a bright blue that seemed to shine from within. Are you okay? Sun-ho asked. Jae-soo nodded. I understand now. I know what we have to do. A loud explosion shook the sanctuary. The Earth fleet was attacking. We need to leave, Du-hyun said. Not yet, Jae-soo replied. We need to send a message first. To all species in the galaxy. Jae-soo stood before the large crystal in the center of the progenitor sanctuary. Her eyes glowed blue as she connected her mind to the ancient communication system. What are you doing? Du-hyun asked, watching as the room's lights pulsed in rhythm with Jae-soo's heartbeat. Sending a message to every species that has progenitor DNA, she replied. They need to know the truth. Jae-soo closed her eyes. The knowledge she had gained from the crystal showed her how to use the sanctuary's powerful transmitter. She sent images and ideas directly to the minds of key individuals across the galaxy, scientists, leaders, and those with partially activated DNA like herself. The message was simple but powerful. All intelligent species were created by the progenitors to work together. Each had special gifts. Together, they could save the universe from early decay. Humans were the key to unlocking everyone's full potential. When she finished, Jae-soo opened her eyes. It's done. Another explosion rocked the sanctuary. The Earth fleet was getting closer. We need to leave now, Sun-ho said. They ran to the bioship. As they flew away from the asteroid, they saw Earth military ships surrounding it. But none tried to stop them. Something strange was happening. Look, Du-hyun pointed to the communication screen. Messages are coming in from all over the galaxy. The first message was from Yuna. Jae-soo, what did you do? Every news channel is talking about the progenitors. People all over Earth are having visions about cooperation between species. The Riku delegation on Earth is asking to meet with human scientists. Read another message. 3 other alien species have contacted Earth with peace offers, said a third. Jae-soo smiled. It's working. The truth is spreading. Over the next week, an amazing change swept through the galaxy. Species that had been enemies for centuries began talking to each other. Scientific teams from different worlds started sharing information about their progenitor DNA. Jae-soo and the coalition set up a new base on a neutral space station. Representatives from 12 different species came to meet them. Even some Earth officials arrived, though Director Han was not among them. The government is split, explained a friendly Earth admiral named Park. Some want to work with other species. Others are afraid and want to keep Earth separate. And the Tarek? Jae-soo asked. Admiral Park looked serious. Most Tarek are angry about your message. They're gathering their fleet. We think they're planning something big. Jae-soo spent days meeting with aliens, scanning their DNA, and showing them what the progenitors had planned. She demonstrated how human touch could activate dormant genes in other species. A tall Riku scientist named Mal was the first to volunteer for activation. Jae-soo placed her hands on Mal's head and focused her enhanced mind. Blue light passed from her fingers into the alien. Mal's 4 eyes widened. I can see it now, he said in his deep voice. The connections between all living things, the energy patterns of the universe. The Riku were designed to perceive energy fields, Jae-soo explained to the watching crowd. With this ability fully activated, They can help locate areas where universal energy is being lost. Next came a small, quick Daru female. After Jisoo activated her DNA, the Daru showed new abilities to manipulate plant growth at amazing speeds. The Daru can help restore ecosystems on damaged planets. Jisoo told the observers. This will help balance energy distribution in those systems. Species by species, Jisoo showed how each had a role to play. A bird like Avari could now predict energy pattern changes. A crystal-skinned Lumi could absorb and redirect harmful radiation. Do-hyun watched with pride as Jisoo united the different aliens. "You've created something amazing," he told her during a quiet moment. "An alliance of species." Jisoo shook her head. "I just revealed what was already there. The progenitors designed us all to work together." Their moment was interrupted when Ta-woo rushed in, his face worried. "The Terek have sent a message," he said, holding up a data tablet. "They demand that all species reject human activation. They say it will destroy the natural order." "What if some species agree with them?" Sunho asked. "Some already do," Ta-woo admitted. "About a third of the galactic species are siding with the Terek. They're calling themselves the purists. They believe each species should develop on its own." Jisoo looked out at the stars visible through the station window. The progenitors knew this might happen. That's why they kept the truth hidden until it was needed. "What do we do now?" Do-hyun asked. "We continue building our alliance," Jisoo said firmly. "Because the Terek won't stop with words. They'll try to destroy what we started." 3 months after Jisoo's message to the galaxy, the alliance had grown stronger. 27 species now worked together, sharing knowledge and activating their special abilities. Earth had officially joined the alliance, though some humans still had doubts. Jisoo's powers had grown too. She could now activate DNA from a distance and help others learn to do the same. A small group of humans had been trained to assist with activation, but none were as powerful as Jisoo. The coalition team stayed together. Sunho built new devices based on progenitor designs. Ta-woo created systems to share information between species. Yuna trained defense forces. Do-hyun helped manage relations between different aliens. But the Terek were not idle. Their purist movement had gathered ships and weapons. They blocked alliance efforts on many worlds. Messages from their leader, Kwon, filled communication channels with warnings about humans. "The humans will control all species," Kwon's deep voice boomed. "They will make us all the same. We must stay pure and separate, as nature intended." Jisoo knew these were lies. The activations didn't make species the same. They made each one's special traits stronger. But many believed Kwon's words. One morning, alarms rang through the Alliance space station. "Terek ships are moving," Yuna reported, looking at the tactical screens. "Hundreds of them. They're heading toward Earth." "Why Earth?" Sunho asked. "Because humans are the key to everything," Jisoo said. "If they destroy us, no other species can be fully activated." The Alliance sent its fleet to protect Earth. Ships from many worlds formed a defensive line. Jisoo and the coalition traveled on the flagship, a massive Riku vessel. "The Terek fleet will arrive in 6 hours," Admiral Park told them. "We're outnumbered, but we have ships from many species with different abilities. That might give us an advantage." As they prepared for battle, Do-hyun pulled Jisoo aside. "There's something I need to tell you," he said quietly. "I've been analyzing Terek communication patterns. I think some of them have activated human DNA in themselves." Jisoo looked shocked. "How is that possible?" "They must have captured humans and found a way to take their DNA," Do-hyun explained. "The Terek leader, Kwon, shows signs of human-like energy patterns." This news filled Jisoo with worry. A Terek with human activation abilities would be very dangerous. Strong but unstable. When the Terek fleet arrived, the battle began immediately. Ships fired weapons of light and energy. Explosions filled space around Earth. "They're breaking through our line," Yuna reported. "A small ship is heading directly for Earth." Jesu used her enhanced vision to see the ship. Quan is on that vessel. I can feel his presence. They boarded a small, fast ship piloted by Sunho. As they chased Quan's vessel toward Earth, Jesu prepared herself for what was coming. They caught up to Quan's ship in orbit above Earth. Sunho managed to lock the ships together, creating a bridge between them. I'll face him, Jesu said, moving toward the connection point. Not alone, Do-hyun insisted, following her. They entered Quan's ship together. The Terek leader waited for them in a large room. He was tall with gray skin and 4 yellow eyes. But something was wrong. Blue veins glowed beneath his skin, and his eyes had a human-like quality. You see what I've become, Quan said in a voice that sounded both Terek and human. I've taken the power that should belong to all species, not just humans. You've created an unstable combination, Jesu said. The DNA wasn't meant to be used that way. Quan laughed. I am stronger than any human or Terek, and soon all Terek will be like me. We will be the ones who decide the galaxy's future. Your way will fail, Jesu said. The progenitors designed all species to work together, not fight for control. Quan moved suddenly, faster than a normal Terek. He grabbed Do-hyun and threw him against the wall. Jesu felt anger and power rise within her. Her eyes glowed bright blue. Let him go. Make me stop, Quan challenged. Jesu raised her hands. Blue energy flowed from her fingers toward Quan. Instead of attacking him, she focused on the unstable human DNA in his body. What are you doing? Quan screamed, falling to his knees. Fixing what was done wrong, Jesu said. The human DNA in you was forced to activate in the wrong way. I'm stabilizing it. Quan fought against her power, but Jesu was stronger. As the blue light surrounded him, his body changed. The glowing veins faded. His eyes became fully Terek again. You took my power, he said weakly. No, Jesu corrected him. I saved you from destruction. Forced activation burns out the body eventually. You would have died. Outside the ship, the battle continued to rage above Earth. The future of all species hung in the balance. After Jesu stabilized Quan's DNA, she and Do-hyun returned to the Alliance flagship. But the battle was not going well. Many Alliance ships had been damaged or destroyed. The Terek fleet was pushing closer to Earth. We're losing, Yuna said as they entered the command center. The Terek have too many ships. Jesu looked at the battle display. Then she closed her eyes and reached out with her enhanced mind. She could feel the fear and determination of humans on Earth. She could sense the other species fighting to protect them. There's only one way to save everyone, Jesu said, opening her eyes. I need to complete my transformation. I need to fully activate what the progenitors built into human DNA. Is that even possible? Sunho asked. Yes, Jesu replied. But it's dangerous. No human has ever reached full activation. What will happen to you? Do-hyun asked, his voice full of worry. I don't know exactly, Jesu admitted, but the progenitor knowledge inside me shows it's the only way. The others looked at each other, then nodded. They trusted Jesu. What do you need? Ta-Wu asked. Take me to Earth, Jesu said. I need to be on the planet, connected to humanity's home. Sunho piloted a small ship through the battle, dodging Terek weapons. They landed near Jesu's old lab, which seemed so long ago now. As they stepped outside, they saw Terek ships entering Earth's atmosphere. Time was running out. I need to be alone for this, Jesu told her friends. Stay back for your safety. She walked to an open field and looked up at the sky where the battle raged. Then she knelt on the grass and placed her hands on the ground. Jesu closed her eyes and focused inward. She found the remaining dormant parts of her DNA, the final gifts the progenitors had hidden in humanity. With everything she had learned, she began to wake them up. Pain shot through her body. Blue light glowed under her skin. The ground around her cracked as energy pulsed outward. On the ships above, humans felt a strange sensation. Something was changing in them. Dormant DNA began to activate in every human in the fleet. On Earth, people stopped and looked up. They felt new awareness, new connections, not just to each other, but to all life. Jisoo's body floated above the ground, surrounded by blue energy. Her transformation had begun, but she knew it wasn't enough to just change herself. Using the full power of her activated DNA, she reached out to all humans. Accept this gift, she sent to them with her mind. It's what we were made for. All across Earth and on ships in space, humans began to change. Not in their appearance, but in their minds and abilities. They could suddenly sense connections between all things. They could feel the energy of the universe around them. As the wave of activation spread through humanity, it created a much larger wave that moved outward. Allied alien species felt their own DNA responding, activated by the massive surge of human energy. In orbit, Terek ships suddenly stopped firing. The Terek felt the change too. Many of them put down their weapons as they began to understand what the progenitors had truly intended. When the transformation was complete, Jisoo stood up. She looked the same, but her eyes now glowed with inner light. She could see the energy patterns of the universe. She could feel the connections between all living things. Jisoo. Do-hyun approached carefully. Are you okay? I'm more than okay, she said with a smile. I'm what humans were always meant to be. And so are you now. Do-hyun looked at his hands. He could see energy flowing through them. I feel connected to everything. Over the next few hours, the battle ended. Most Terek ships retreated. Some stayed to talk. The galaxy had changed forever. 1 week later, Jisoo stood before the new Galactic Council. Representatives from 50 species attended, including many former enemies. What happens now? Asked a Terek representative who had replaced Quan. Now we do what the progenitors designed us to do, Jisoo explained. We work together to heal the universe. Each species has special gifts to contribute. And humans? Asked Fatal Reku. We are the bridge, Jisoo said. Not rulers or controllers, but connectors. We help all species reach their full potential while respecting their differences. Later that night, Jisoo stood alone, looking at the stars. Do-hyun joined her. Are you happy with what you've done? He asked. Jisoo smiled. This isn't an ending. It's a beginning. The real work is just starting. Across the galaxy, species that had fought for centuries began working together. The universe itself seemed brighter as the decay slowed. Jisoo's choice had changed not just her future, but the destiny of all species, just as the progenitors had planned. Jisoo Kim stared at the screen, her eyes wide. The pattern was there again. This was the third time she had seen it. 3 different alien species, 3 different worlds, but the same strange mark in their DNA. This can't be right, she whispered to herself. The lad was quiet. Most people had gone home hours ago. Jisoo often stayed late at the Earth Science Station. She liked the peace. She could think better when no one was around. Jisoo was a xenobiologist. She studied alien life forms. She was good at her job. The best, many said. That's why she noticed what others had missed. She looked at the samples again. Species 1. The tall, 4-armed Riku from the water planet Nept. Species 2. The small, quick Daru who lived in deep forest.